Alex is someone I get along very well with on and off the court. Again, another physical battle, but obviously against an opponent that was, playing on a high level. So I'm glad to overcome it. I was really blown away by how inspired she was. I mean, I was blown away by watching great athletes on that rink.
Nobody saw this coming. Not the tennis world, not the WTA, and certainly not Alex Eala herself. Because Novak Djokovic just walked into a press conference and dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves across every court, every locker room, and every corner of the sport. He looked straight into the cameras and declared that he is actively looking to pair up with Alex Eala for mixed doubles at the Stuttgart Open. Just like that. No whispers, no rumors, no leaks, just a direct and public declaration from the greatest champion this sport has ever produced, and the entire world stopped. Now, before we get into exactly what Djokovic said and what this means for Eala, her career, and the entire women's game, we need to understand something. This moment did not come out of nowhere. There is a backstory here. There is a foundation to all of this. And once you understand it, this announcement makes complete and total sense.
I would love to play mixed doubles, of course, with Novak.
It was actually Alexa Eala who first put this idea out into the world. She had already expressed her admiration and genuine excitement at the thought of sharing a court with Novak Djokovic. She had made it known, in her own graceful and humble way, that playing alongside a legend of his level would be one of the most extraordinary experiences of her tennis life. She said it with the kind of sincerity that only comes from someone who truly loves the sport and deeply respects what greatness looks like up close. And Djokovic heard her, not with a polite nod, not with a like on social media, but with a full press conference announcement that told the entire world he wants her as his partner. We need to be very clear about what it means when Novak Djokovic says your name in a press conference with that kind of intention behind it. This is not just any voice in tennis. This is a man who has spent decades facing the most pressure-filled moments in the history of the sport and never once blinked. When he speaks, every tournament director, every WTA official, every rival, and every fan on every continent listens. And right now, every single one of them just heard him say Alexa Eala's name with purpose, with conviction, and with the full weight of everything he has built over a legendary career standing firmly behind it. He has reportedly been a supporter of Eala since the Australian Open, where he spoke highly of her and recognized her as one of the most important tennis names ever to come out of the Philippines. This is not bandwagon praise. This is not sudden hype. This is a continued and genuine belief in what she represents and what she may become. He has been consistent, he has been vocal, and now he has taken that support to a level that nobody in the tennis world anticipated when this year began.
I saw the other day with Alex Eala, that's been a talk, and which is understandable. There's some players coming from respective countries, like she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. She's been the biggest ever, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's a big interest.
The reason Djokovic's confidence in Eala runs so deep comes down to what he has personally seen with his own eyes. He did not just watch her from a distance. He reportedly had an on-court session with Eala, and by all accounts, he enjoyed every single second of it. He said it was fun having her there, and then he added something that carried enormous weight. He said she is actually good. On the surface, that might sound simple, but coming from Novak Djokovic, it means something completely different. This is a man who has shared the court with the absolute best players in the history of the game. He knows what elite ball striking looks like. He knows what timing looks like, what anticipation looks like, what touch looks like. So when he says a player is actually good after spending real time on court with her, that is one champion recognizing genuine quality in a rising talent. That is experience speaking. That is a standard built over decades of competing at the very top of the sport. He went even further than that. He described Eala as great to watch on television, but even better in person. He called her an incredible athlete, someone who is carving out her place in the WTA for all the right reasons, not for controversy, not for noise, but for her tennis, her effort, her attitude, and her discipline. Those are not the words of a man who is simply impressed by a scoreline. Those are the words of someone who has looked closely and seen something that cannot be manufactured or faked. But here is what makes the Stuttgart announcement even more powerful. Djokovic is not simply reacting to Eala's talent, he is reacting to her character. And in professional tennis, those are two very different things. After her elimination from Indian Wells, Djokovic reportedly visited Eala, and instead of focusing on the disappointment of the loss, he focused entirely on what she did next. He praised the way she immediately locked back in, the way she returned to work, and the way she shifted her full attention toward her next challenge without wasting a single day feeling sorry for herself. In his eyes, that response was inspiring. Not the win, not the hype, not the attention, but the response, the discipline and the willingness to go right back to training and keep building even when the spotlight had just caught her in a difficult moment. He has spoken passionately about how Eala, through nothing but relentless hard work and unwavering dedication, has placed the Philippines on the global tennis map in a way that will echo through the sport for generations to come. That is the Eala that Djokovic is asking to stand beside him at the Stuttgart court. Not just the athlete, but the competitor, the person who shows you who she really is, not when things are going perfectly, but when they are not. And this is where it gets even more interesting, because this is not just a heartwarming partnership story. This is Djokovic sending a very loud message to the WTA. Remember, this is the same man who raised his voice at the Australian Open, speaking directly to the WTA about the importance of managing Eala's schedule and court placement in a way that truly honors the scale of her status. He called on the tour to put her on courts where her fans can fill every seat, where the atmosphere can match what she is achieving, and where she can feel genuinely valued the way her extraordinary talent deserves. By stepping forward and publicly requesting Eala as his mixed doubles partner at Stuttgart, Djokovic is doing exactly that again. He is forcing the conversation and making it impossible for anyone to overlook her. The support surrounding Eala right now extends far beyond even Djokovic. Jessica Pegula has made it clear that nobody paying attention to women's tennis can deny the potential Eala is bringing to the WTA. Rafael Nadal, one of the most respected voices in the entire history of the sports, has also been a consistent source of encouragement throughout her journey. Former world number one Kim Clijsters has spoken with deep admiration about the exceptional dedication that forms the true foundation beneath all of Eala's recent success. When names like Djokovic, Nadal, Pegula, and Clijsters are all pointing in the same direction, that is not a coincidence. That is the sport recognizing something real and refusing to stay quiet about it. Through all of this extraordinary attention, and with the weight of an entire nation's hopes sitting on her shoulders, Alex Eala has handled every single moment with a grace that is honestly breathtaking. She has not directed a single negative word at anyone who has spoken against her. She says she chooses to see everything through a positive lens, and that even when she has been treated unfairly, she will not allow that darkness to define how she moves through the world. Carrying the hopes of an entire country is not easy. Becoming a symbol is not easy. But Eala is staying grounded, staying humble, and showing a level of composure that says everything about her maturity and her readiness for everything that is coming next. So here we are, Stuttgart is on the horizon, and the entire tennis world is now asking the same question. Will we actually see Novak Djokovic and Alex Eala walk out onto that court together as partners? And if we do, think about what that image means. The greatest champion in tennis history, standing side by side with the most electrifying young star the Philippines has ever produced. Two champions, two generations, one court, and one moment that the sport will not forget. Alex Eala started all of this by expressing admiration for a legend, and that legend turned around and told the whole world he wants her in his corner. Stuttgart cannot come soon enough.